In the ancient Persian Empire, there was a king, Shahriman, who ruled alongside his brother Nizam. The king had two sons who brought him great joy, but he still felt his family was incomplete. The movie begins with a young orphan boy, Dastan, living in the slums of Nasaf, Persia, alongside his best friend, Bis. When Bis causes an accident and is about to be punished, Dastan intervenes. Their commotion draws the attention of the guards. After a brief chase, Dastan is caught, but just in time, the king of Persia, who has witnessed the entire event, steps out of the shadows. Impressed by Dastan's bravery, he commends the boy and adopts him into the royal family, even though he has no royal blood. 15 years later, Dastan is now a prince of Persia. He joins his royal-blooded foster brothers, Tus, who is eager to wear the crown, and Garsiv, a reckless prince striving to prove his worth. The three attend a war council, where a Persian spy claims to have intercepted a caravan from Alamut carrying weapons for Persia's enemies. Recognizing the threat of war, Dastan proposes a diplomatic solution, but his uncle Nizam, the royal advisor, disagrees. Tus, the heir to the throne, gives the order to attack the sacred city of Alamut. During the assault, Dastan disobeys orders and leads the first attack himself. Scaling the city walls, his team overpowers the watchtower guards and opens the gates from within. Seeing this, Tus mobilizes the Persian army, and they storm the city. As Alamut falls, Princess Tamina sends a royal guard to hide a mythical artifact, the Dagger of Time, in a safe place. However, Dastan intercepts the guard, defeats him, and unknowingly takes the dagger, unaware of its power. Although the Persians take the city, Tamina denies the existence of any weapon forges. Tus proposes marriage to her to unite their kingdoms, but she only agrees upon seeing the dagger in Dastan's possession. Tus then asks Dastan to present a ceremonial robe as a gift to their father, King Shahriman, during the celebration banquet. At the banquet, Dastan presents the robe and Tamina. However, the king surprises everyone by offering Tamina to Dastan instead, as Tus already has multiple wives. Moments later, the robe fatally burns the king. Unbeknownst to Dastan, it was poisoned. Onlookers accuse him of murder. He flees with Tamina, while Biz and many loyal men are killed, covering their escape. With King Shahriman dead, Tus ascends the throne and places a bounty on Dastan. Determined to prove his innocence, Dastan sets out on a journey with Tamina, who wishes to safeguard the dagger. That night, she tries to seduce him to steal the dagger. When that fails, she resorts to violence. In the struggle, Dastan accidentally activates the dagger and discovers it can reverse time for a few moments, allowing the user to correct mistakes or relive moments. However, its power is limited by the sand within its handle. Dastan concludes that Nizam framed him for the king's murder in order to seize the throne and gain control of the dagger. The next day, Dastan rides to Avrat to confront Nizam. Along the way, he tries to refill the dagger with ordinary sand, but it doesn't work. In the Valley of Slaves, Tamina tricks and knocks him out, steals his horse and the dagger, and leaves him behind. Dastan is discovered by Sheikh Ammar, a merchant bandit who organizes ostrich races, and his companion Saiso, a master knife thrower from the Ngbaka tribe. After catching up with Tamina, Dastan trades her to the Sheikh in exchange for hospitality. He soon discovers that Tamina had hidden a reserve of the sacred sand. Sheikh Ammar attempts to turn Dastan in to King Tus for the reward, but the plan fails. Dastan and Tamina escape and return to Avrat for the king's funeral. Inside the city, Dastan secretly arranges a meeting with Nizam to clear his name, only to realize the dagger is missing. However, he notices burn marks on Nizam's hands and deduces that Nizam orchestrated the king's murder. Nizam sets a trap for Dastan, who has a confrontation with Garsiv. Though Dastan wins, he spares his brother and flees again. Meanwhile, Nizam, aware that Dastan knows the truth, tries to convince King Tus and Garsiv to kill Dastan without trial to prevent rebellion. When this fails, he hires the Hassansins, a deadly group of assassins once used by Persian royalty, whom Nizam secretly kept alive after Shahriman disbanded them. Dastan finds Tamina, scolds her for stealing the dagger, and explains everything. The attack on Alamut was based on false intelligence planted by Nizam, who sought the dagger to access the massive sandglass hidden beneath the city. If he uses the dagger to pierce the sandglass, he can travel far back in time before he saved Shahriman from a lion attack, thus rewriting history so that he becomes the sole heir to the Persian throne. As a sandstorm approaches, conjured by the Hassansan leader, Dastan and Tamina waited out in a tent. There, Tamina reveals the truth about the sand glass. It contains the beating heart of the sands of time, created by the gods to punish humanity for its greed. A pure-hearted girl once offered her life to convince the gods to seal the sands. If the dagger of time pierces the sand glass, the sands would be unleashed, destroying the world. However, the wielder of the dagger could turn back time as far as they wish. Their conversation builds trust, and they begin to develop feelings for each other. They decide to work together to protect the dagger. On their way to a hidden Alamut temple to return the dagger to the sacred stone, they are captured by Sheikh Amar, Seiso, and their crew, angry over the chaos caused at the racetrack. Sheikh Amar plans to turn them in to claim the bounty and revive his business. Later that night, while everyone is asleep, they are attacked by the leader of the Hassansins, who commands a nest of vipers. Many members of the group are killed, but Dastan uses the dagger to rewind time. Anticipating the attack, he expertly defeats all the snakes single-handedly, saving Seiso's life in the process. The Hassansan leader retreats in a swirling sand dervish. The following day, Dastan and Tamina proceed to the temple to return the dagger, accompanied by Sheikh Amar and his men, who agree to join them in hopes of finding gold inside. In order to seal the dagger permanently in the stone it came from, Tamina would have to sacrifice herself. Before they can complete the ritual, they are ambushed by Garsiv's men. Dastan convinces Garsiv of his innocence, but before they can act, Garsiv is killed by spike knives thrown by a Hassansan. A fierce battle breaks out. The Hassansins kill many of the group, and their leader uses a snake to steal the dagger of time from the unconscious Tamina. Dastan is saved from another Hassansan by the dying Garsiv, who succumbs to his wounds after his final act of heroism. Back in Alamut, the leader of the Hassansins cuts open the belly of the viper and retrieves the dagger, presenting it to Nizam. Nizam begins digging a tunnel to reach the sand glass beneath the city. Meanwhile, Dastan, Tamina, Sheikh Amar, and Seiso return to Alamut to reveal Nizam's treachery and retrieve the dagger. It is now kept in the High Temple, guarded by the same Hassansan who killed Garsiv. Seiso engages in a deadly standoff with the spike-wielding Hassansan. Though he kills the assassin with a perfectly aimed throw, Seiso is fatally wounded. With his last breath, he tosses the dagger out the window to Sheikh Amar and Dastan. To help them escape, Sheikh distracts the guards, serving as a decoy. Dastan reaches King Tus and proves the truth about the dagger by killing himself. Tus, horrified, uses the dagger to rewind time, realizing Dastan's innocence. Before he can act further, Nizam appears and kills Tus. Dastan is immobilized by a Hassansan, but Nizam leaves him to die, focused on his ultimate goal. With Tamina's help, Dastan defeats the Hassansan. Tamina realizes this assassin was once a priest in the temple, the one who must have told Nizam about the dagger of time. Nizam uses a pulley to descend toward the sandglass chamber. Dastan and Tamina race through a secret passage to intercept him. On the way, they are confronted by the Hassansan leader. During the intense fight, a snake emerges from the assassin's robe to strike Dastan, but Tamina redirects it to bite its master. Dastan stabs the Hassansan and throws him into the abyss. They reach Nizam just as he pierces the sandglass with the dagger. Tamina pleads with him not to unleash the sands and doom the world, but he knocks her over the edge. Dastan catches her hand, but she realizes he cannot stop Nizam and save her at the same time. She professes her love and lets go, sacrificing herself to stop him. Devastated, Dastan grabs the dagger's hilt along with Nizam. He presses the button, releasing the sands of time and using its power to undo everything. As the sand glass cracks, a storm destroys Alamut, but Dastan successfully rewinds time to the moment he first held the dagger during the siege. Relieved to see Biss again, Dastan uses his newfound knowledge to expose Nizam's treachery to his brothers. He references a private conversation Tus had with her father, something only someone with knowledge of future events could know. Realizing the truth, Tus intervenes just as Nizam tries to kill Dastan and fatally stabs his uncle. After apologizing to Princess Tamina for the attack on her city, Tus proposes that their two kingdoms be united by marriage. He suggests Tamina become Dastan's wife as a gesture of goodwill, Dastan returns the Dagger of Time to her as a gift. Tamina, surprised by Dastan's sudden maturity and insight, hints that he seems to have discovered something. He simply replies that they are in control of their own destiny. As they smile and hold hands, they gaze into each other's eyes with hope for the future. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next video.